This folder contains a large collections of similar but slightly different projects. We drill into one of these projects. Each one was edited, produced, and then archived as a zip file. I wanted to easily compare a short section of each project. So what I did was import each one of the zips into Camtasia, and I put those separate projects in the library. Those 3 projects are in the library as these 3 assets. In a new Camtasia project, I loaded each one of those 3 projects on a separate location on the timeline. First project is located here, second project is located here, and the third project is located here. Each one of the projects on the timeline is identified by a media marker as well as the asset name. Media marker, asset name. Media marker, asset names. The markers are there to make it easy to jump back and forth between the projects. I've also already taken the liberty to identify the sections that I want to compare between the 3 projects. Those sections are identified at your start by the markers you see here. When working with new projects, I usually work with a template project like the one selected here. I've taken this template project and I've also stored it as an asset in my library. That template project as an asset in the library is here. What I'm going to do is put this on the timeline past the end of the 3 projects that already exist on the timeline. So I'm going to right-click, add it to the timeline down there. So now I actually have 4 projects on the timeline at the same time. What I'm planning on doing is to copy and paste the sections of interest from each of these 3 projects here and paste them into this template project that I put on the timeline. To begin, I'm going to make a selection to the end of the template project. Control-Shift-8 to fill the timeline with it. Control-Shift-D to collapse the playhead. Then I'm going to open the template project by expanding the group Control-Shift-G. And currently, there's a placeholder on track 1. What I want to do is delete that placeholder so I have a place to paste the items I'm going to copy. So I'll delete that. I'll close the group. Actually, before I close it, I'm going to temporarily disable these 2 tracks here. Now it's Ctrl plus Shift plus U to close that group. Ctrl plus Shift plus 7. I've also added caption points at locations in this project to make it easy to locate someplace. Let me go to captions. And the locations where I want to do the copying identified by these 3 captions. So select this one. We go there. You can see it's right near my marker. I'm going to expand the timeline here. Go back to my marker, get out of my caption. And then I'm going to scrub the timeline, making a selection. And so I locate where I believe to be the end of the section I want to copy, and that's going to be right about here. Having done that, it's Control-C to copy that. Control-N takes me down to my template area. Control-Shift-G opens that up, and I need to go to the beginning here where I'll right-click on track 1 in the expanded group and paste. So that first little section that I wanted to copy is right here. So we'll put the playhead there, Control-Home. We're going to expand the groups of where we're limited to that range. And then I'll scrub and see if I got what I wanted. And it looks like I did. And that worked out pretty well. I'm going to collapse this group. Control-Shift-U. Back to my captions. I'll select my second location. Once again, I'm going to go to the marker. And then I'm going to make a selection until I identify where I believe to be the end of that section. That's going to be right about here. Then I'm going to Control-C that. Control-N, select my group. Let's go back to there. Control-Shift-G. Right-click track 1, passing into my first page. Paste again. My second copied section is now there. Control-Shift-U collapses the group. And we'll go to my third location, navigate to the beginning of that marker. Drag and select until I find what I'm looking for. That'll do it right there. Ctrl-C, and I'll go to the end of the project again, the end of the group. Ctrl-Shift-G, and right-click. Paste. Pull it down. Now, I have a new project based on a template project that is based on 3 sections of 3 other projects that are all in the same project I'm currently working in. And of course, I can always play this and see how it sounds. Take a look at the stuff. We've got a yellow healthy factor icon. Percent fat's pretty nice at over 35%. Calories, normal for supper at 1513. We'll go ahead, we had a nice blue healthy factor icon. Percent fat, only 28%. Total calories, not too shabby at 1141. We'll check out the stats here. We've got a nice bright blue healthy factor icon. Meal was only 20%. Fat really low. Total calories, respectable, 1020. Okay, that came out real well. Because I built this out using a template project that was an asset in the library, I can drag my end group down. That's already part of the template. I'll pull him up and slide him over. And that gives me the end of the project as I want it. The only other thing I have to do now is to re-enable these two disabled tracks. And let's trim these back now. I have to do that or it won't work right. And then I also have to select this one and Ctrl-U to ungroup it. I'll put the playhead at the end of the expanded group back one frame, confirms that everything looks good, and now I've got my project. I'm gonna go ahead and collapse this group. Ctrl-Shift-U, and I need to trim this back because I don't need to have the project that long anymore. I'm at the end back to the left. Now if I want to just produce this, I can make a selection. Right-click, Export Timeline Selection. I'm gonna do MP4 with Smart Player. I'm gonna give it a name. I'm gonna call it 3 project snippets and we'll date it today, which is the 27th. So 3 project snippets compared blah blah blah, it's a tutorial. Everything else is set up right. Export, and I'll open the file location. There's the launcher. I'll double click it, and then I'll play it and see how she came out. Take a look at the stats. We've got a yellow healthy faster icon. You said fat's pretty nice at only 35%. Model for supper at 1513. We'll go ahead. We had a nice blue healthy factor icon. Percent fat only 28%. Total calories not too shabby at 1141. We'll check out the stats here. We've got a nice bright blue healthy factor icon. Neil was only 20% fat really low. Total calories respectable 1020. Okay, that looks like it came out real well. If I want to make a separate zip archive and adjust a little new project I created, I can select it. It's a group. Ctrl-X puts it on my clipboard. I can command the new project now. Ctrl-N. No, I don't want to make any saves. We're now in a new project. I'll go Ctrl-V to paste that little section there. And now I can give it an appropriate name and zip it, and I'm good to go.